and welcome students to the Learn and Practice Institute, the Institute for Complete Learning, and here it is your science session. In this session, today we will discuss Class 8, Chapter 2, that is Microorganisms, Strengths and Foe. Plus, we know that microorganisms are the tiniest organisms in the world. It is somehow very much useful, somehow it is very much affected, or it is harmful to ourselves, not only for ourselves but also for different type of animals and creatures also. Got it? And these organisms, if we see for the sources of it, we know that nowadays we are facing a very pandemic situations everywhere throughout the world, that is against of the COVID-19, right? COVID-19 is the coronavirus. So the coronavirus that is nowadays very much popular in everyone's world, and it is very much affected among the people, and most of the people has given their life only for this disease, only for this such type of organism, right? So we know that such type of virus that is affected, it is also a kind of under the microorganisms. It means it is a foe. Friend, no, it is a foe. Foe means the enemy. Okay, so few type of organisms, those which are of from their classes, those which are very much dangerous for ourselves, and few are there those which are useful to us. Okay, so how do we use the microorganisms in different purposes, and how do few types of organisms are there, those which affected us? We'll just read in a short manner on your short details throughout this chapter. Okay, so without wasting time, let's start our the second chapter, microorganisms, strengths of foe. First of all, we will go for the microorganism definitions. What is the, because when we are going or when we are reading the science, at first we have to know the basic idea of that matter on which we will go for reading about its characteristics or about its nature in the environment, and how does it work or its function, everything. But at first, what is that kind, we have to know. So for that purpose, definitions is needed. So what is microorganism? Microorganisms are the tiniest organisms. Microorganisms are the tiniest organisms, those which cannot be seen by our naked eyes, and we can observe through the electronic microscope. Okay, so this is the basic definitions for the microorganisms. Now if we go for the classification of the microorganisms, if we go for the classification of microorganisms, we will observe that it is of the several kinds. Number one, that is bacteria. Number two, that is protozoa. Number three is algae. Number four is fungi or fungus. Okay, bacteria, protozoa, algae, fungi. Okay, and the another part that is known as virus. Now the question can arise that, sir, why you have given just beside of the virus a star mark? Actually, this is the unique kind of microorganism that can never help us anyhow behind of its effectiveness. Got it? It affected in our body for most of the percent, or for 100% we can say, but somehow bacteria, protozoa, algae and fungi, among these few are there, I'm not telling every, few are there those which are useful to us. Got it? So how they are used we will read afterwards throughout our topic. So these are the classifications, so these are the names of the microorganisms, those which are going to read, and this is under under the whole the kingdom of the microorganisms: bacteria, protozoa, algae, fungi and virus. So all these are inside the different classes, but their total species is the microorganism. Okay, so now we will go for we have already understand their definitions and how many are there and what are their names, we already know. Now we have to go for its own destination, means where does it live actually in the world. Look, these are so much lightweighted. We know, we have already read that it is tiniest, it is the most tiniest. If you just tally along with a very atomic part of any kinds of substances, it could be easier to understand. Okay, just it's a very atomic size of it, so it has no proper destinations to stay. It can stay everywhere throughout the universe, everywhere in every corner, whether it is very frigid zone, whether it is temperate zone, whether it is the torrid zone, anywhere in the water, on land, in the air, everywhere it can live and it can survive. It has the quality that it can survive everywhere. Okay, why? Because their body is covered with the protein substance. Okay, mainly their body is covered with protein substance. So that's why they can easily stay everywhere. For whom? Mainly for the viruses. Mainly for the viruses. The protein covered is there. But if you say algae, fungi, no, their body is not covered. Protozoa, no, their body is not covered. But viruses' body is covered with the protein. But if you say algae, fungi, protozoa, it is made up of the different substances of their bodies. Got it? So in this way, virus, any type of virus can stay anywhere and it can make the habitat in any zone according to its choice. Got it? Because their body is covered with protein and protein doesn't break normally. Whenever it comes to any reactions, that time it used to break, otherwise not. So now this is the proper destination. So this from this topic we can normally say, or we can make the conclusion that the microorganisms like bacteria, protozoa, algae, fungi, virus, except virus, that's why I've given the star mark, except virus, all these four has its exact locations, has its exact habitat throughout the world where they can stay and they can live easily. Got it? Good. Now we will read that how do microorganisms help us, or does microorganism help us? Of course, microorganisms help us in different way. Okay, if we go for the soil fertility, it helps. Whenever we are going for the fermentation process, it helps. When we are going for what I say for pasteurization completed, okay, fermentation completed. So in different way we can just take the microorganisms to react on the substances and to make the exact thing that we used to take. Okay, so in this way somehow microorganisms help us. Okay, now we will go for that how do microorganisms can be useful to us. How can microorganisms useful to us? For this purpose, number one we will go for, that is soil fertility. Number one, soil fertility. Okay, soil fertility. What is soil fertility? Soil fertility means the conditions of the fertileness of the soil. Okay, or the process of loosening the hard soil into soft part of it. This process is mainly the soil fertility. And in soil fertility we know that few type of microorganisms are there, those which take parts or those which play their own roles. Okay, so which microorganism we can say about the rhizobium, right? Because rhizobium contains the nitrogen or nitrogen fixing bacteria. In this way we can say. Okay, or we can say about the blue green algae. Blue green algae. Blue green algae is also in the soil, and these algae also helps to break the soil, helps to nourish the soil and helps to fertile. Got it? So in this way soil fertility happens only by such type of microorganisms. So this is no doubt useful microorganisms for ourselves. Got it? Number two. Number two we will go for, I'm rubbing it. Number two we will go for fermentation process. Fermentation. Okay, fermentation process. Fermentation process, first time it was discovered by process was discovered by the scientist Louis Pasteur in the year 1857. Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur in the year 1857. 1857. Okay, so Louis Pasteur, first of all, he discovered this type of commercial use of the microorganisms, and why he used to make the alcohol. Actually fermentation is making of the alcohol. How is it produced? Here the sugar sugar is taken. Sugar means not only normal sugar. Sugar means the food item, the food substances. The food substances that contains the starch or sugar into itself. Okay, so we can say about the rice. Okay, we can say about the wheat. It means the carbohydrate based food that contains the starch into itself, that converts into sugar. So that sugar plus along with it the unicellular organism that is called yeast. Okay, so sugar and yeast, when it is taken and it is kept for a few times, after that alcohol produced from there. Okay, and it is nowadays commercially used in everywhere throughout the universe, and this process is known as the fermentation process, and this process is used in the business purpose, so that's why it is called the commercial part, the commercial use of the microorganisms. Okay, commercial use. Now if we go for the normal use means the home, in home we used to use it, that is the for making the card, okay, for making card, got it? So for making card, how it is used, if milk, first of all the milk is needed. If milk is kept for few days, or if milk, an amount of milk is kept for a day also, or 2 or 3 days, we will observe that it comes into itself as, or convert itself into curd. How is it possible? Because in milk, as it is coming from an organism's body, so it contains into itself a very tiniest microorganism that is called lactobacillus. Okay, lactobacillus, these microorganisms helps to convert the entire part of the milk substance into curd. Okay, and this process can be done in a normal way, so that's why it is called a homemade process. In homemade process also we can observe the function of the microorganisms, got it? So first of all, soil fertility you have observed, number 2 fermentation, then number 3 for making the curd or curd making, number 4 we will go for to make the antibiotics. Yes, antibiotics means the medicines that helps to cure different type of diseases, and it is formed from different type of fungi and algae's body. Got it? Different type of medicines or different type of antibiotics we can say, just like the streptomycin. Okay, we can think for streptomycin. Okay, then we can say for erythromycin, okay, etc. So in this way, different type of medicines are made, and it is used in different diseases. Got it? First time who discovered it? It was also discovered by the scientist, the Alexander Fleming. Okay, first of all, Alexander Fleming, or another one is penicillin. When I am saying about the Alexander Fleming, so we must have to write penicillin. Okay, first time he invented the antibiotics that is called penicillin, and penicillin come from the penicillium notatum, penicillium notatum fungus. This is a fungus. Okay, penicillium notatum, and from penicillium notatum, Sir Alexander Fleming invented the antibiotic penicillin in the year 1929. Okay, so in the year 1929, Alexander Fleming. First, he find out the penicillin antibiotics. Okay, so, and by taking such type of process, nowadays also different scientists, different doctors are discovering different type of antibiotics. Got it? Okay, so these also a part of commercial use of the microorganisms. Now come at the fourth part, that is also a part of commercial use of microorganism. Sorry, fifth part, and the fifth part is to produce or to discover the vaccine. And these vaccine nowadays is very much important because we have to cure ourselves and we have to prevent our body from COVID-19. Got it? If COVID-19 attacks anyone's body nowadays also, there is no chance if any patient is coronavirus positive, so there is no chance to be alive because there is no vaccine which can make which can go for the fight against COVID-19. So till now doctors are in search of using different microorganisms, algae or fungi, different type of plants they are using in Ayurveda, also in allopathy, in homeopathy. They are just doing their best level best to find out the vaccine. What is the vaccine? First of all, you have to understand vaccine is also a part of medicine. It is also a part of medicine, but this medicine is not used in a regular basis. It is not used in a regular basis. Okay, for it is given only in once or twice throughout the life, only for one time or two times throughout the life, because such type of medicines or such type of vaccines have lots of power, and it is totally made with the WBC of our blood. Okay, we know that in our blood WBC is present, and WBC protects our body and it works as an antibody in our body. So that's why to increase the level of the WBC, to increase the activeness of the WBC, these vaccines are pushed into our body or injected into our body. Okay, so in this way vaccines work. Got it? Now, who discovered it first time? Sir, Edward Jenner. First time he discovered it in the year 1798. 1798. He found that time that people are most of the time suffering from several type of diseases, those which are communicable disease. Okay, those which are communicable disease, just like the whooping cough, then typhoid, cholera, dysentery. Okay, such type of diseases are coming, those which are very common, and common flu also. So to get relief, and most of the people that time also in the year 1798, you think that it was means before three decades we are reading, and that time there is not so much modernized in the medicine part also, and most of the time has given their life only for because of, you can say, the whooping cough, then tuberculosis, then dysentery. So to get rid of it, after that Sir Edward Jenner first time he discovered the vaccine. Okay, vaccine, and after that different scientists and doctors are going for discovering the vaccines of different type of diseases. So elaborately we can say in the conclusion part of it that few of the microorganisms are present in the world, those which are very much useful to us, and they prevent our body from several type of diseases or communicable diseases. Got it? And these are the uses of it, the home use and the commercial use. Got it? Okay, next we will go for the harmful part of the microorganisms, and we know that here virus play their role in a best way, because virus is the ultimate organism which has the power to increase the level of different type of critical or very crucial, we can say, the diseases into people's body, in humans body as well as the animals body also, so that they can get affected, and by the lack of the medicines or the vaccines they can go for the diet. Okay, now let's start the harmful part of the microorganisms.